Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Wherever you are in the world, however you're watching this from, it's a blustery day here in Asheville, like Winnie the Pooh and the blustery day. So um, it's getting slightly warmer. I don't know if wherever you are, you're feeling the spring coming. I know the daffodils are starting to peak up, and the crocus I can see. So I'm just like hoping we don't get a super hard freeze, and get rid of them all. And I noticed some trees budding out yesterday, so it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready, and I'm gonna bet you all are ready too for this shift that spring always brings, and the opening that occurs, and the I don't know, it's like a breath of fresh air feeling. So I am all in for that. I'm all in for our fun discussion today. Once we get things going, I'll have to share something. Just to note, I've got to be careful what I name these, the themes that Spirit gives me for the next live and the next live. So stay tuned on that. Hi, Marge. It's good to see you. Susie, hello. Claire, happy Wednesday from a sunny Wales. Good to be here. Yes, it's good to have you here. And Piper, good to have you. And Avanti, if I'm pronouncing that, from South Africa. Yay, so glad you're here. What's the weather, everybody, where you are? I know Claire said it was sunny. Is it warm? Is it still cold? I'm like the weather, Nazi, or the weather paparazzi, where I'm just like looking and seeing what everybody's going through. Yeah, I'm so happy to finally catch a live too. It's wonderful, and glad you're here. Marge, you got a blizzard? No, 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 for no internet going in and out. So hopefully you can stay right here and we can really enjoy it. Hi, Vicki. Good to see you. Piper says we have about 7 inches of snow. Oh my goodness. That makes me cold thinking of it. Hi, Marianne. Glad you're here. Always good to see you. And Joan from Oregon, and Jen. It's just so good to have everybody here. And so, today what we're going to talk about is but you get a new pet, how to integrate them. We'll probably be talking about how they come and at what time they come, in your life, and what that means. And so, just Spirit has an amazing sense of humor, especially with me. And yesterday morning, I was headed toward the animal sanctuary where all my babies are. And I got a call. It was very interesting because I had some mowers there, and the mower calls me, and he's like, Tami, you have a neighbor here. And I was like, what's she doing there? I don't know who it is. And apparently she had found a little dog running, and she was on her way to work. She had already tried to find a home for it, or just whose it was. And she ended up at my place, and we're fenced and gated. But as Spirit did, she pressed the gate, and it opened right up. So she came right in. And so here she was with this dog, thinking, oh, maybe it's one of Tami's dogs. Well, no, it isn't one of Tami's dogs, but I ended up saying, yes, of course, we'll give her safe haven for now. And so she's hanging out at my place, and we're in the process of trying to find her home and where she came from. And I spent some time with her yesterday, and her energy is, she's super sweet, very, very loving. And I could feel her relief. I don't think she had been out long, her relief at just being safe in a place. So yeah, this is to be continued. We will have to see what happens, but we are in the process of trying to find whose baby she is, because I'm sure they're missing her. But I'll keep you posted on that. Yeah, that was like special delivery direct. Piper says, great topic, because I have adopted one bunny and I have had 2 fosters, and getting one more this weekend. I didn't plan it, just came up. Universe asked me. I hear you. I hear you. That's the whole thing. And, there was a time period when there were a lot of them coming to me. And I really wondered what kind of neon sign I had out there. Like somebody needs, like, the inn is full and let's slow this down. So yeah, it can be, you have to keep shifting. And Alex, who is helping me with this, I'm getting signals from people saying my signal is breaking up. So I don't know if that's on their end or our end. If you would check that, I'd really appreciate it. So at any rate, we will go forward on this while we're checking. And how many of you have had animals come that you didn't expect, or you didn't know how to integrate? You get one in and you don't quite know what they need. So it can be, sometimes it can work really easily. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a balancing act, and always keeping the animal and what they need in mind, because they're going through a lot of change just like we are. And so today I have a guest who's going to come on, and she's had this situation happen where she's had a little kitten come in, and a little kitten come in and has a dog. And so she's going through that introductory phase, the piece where you're getting to know one another. And so, yes, everybody, I think that internet is a little spicy. Piper says she's good. So hopefully we'll get that. Oh, good. Claire says you're coming in live and strong for me. So maybe it's a states thing. I don't know. We'll get it fixed. Although, Barb, you're in Canada. So I'd like to introduce my guest. It's somebody that I've known about for years, and she loves animals. And I can't wait for her to share her story and to also, help us understand what she's going through. So her name's Nikki. And so, Nikki, if you could pop on here, we'd love to talk. It's
Hello.
nice to meet you. And is this the culprit that came into your life?
Yes, completely unexpected, like ping, pop, disappeared. Oh, he's lovely.
What were the circumstances around how she appeared? Like, tell me the details.
Well, it's actually a boy, although he's called Angel.
Oh, okay.
We thought he was a girl, but well, my partner actually, it's his fault. I blame him. Oh, he was really, we don't live together, and he was wanting either a dog or a cat. He really had this yearning to have a pet for so long. And in the end of the summer, he went to his brother's 60th birthday just to celebrate. And they're based in London, walked along the canal, Angel and Islington, and it was a really hot day. And all of a sudden there was a lady standing by the canal holding two tiny kittens. And she just said to Matt, you don't want a kitten, do you? And because it was like, he said, oh, I suppose I do. And then the next thing he knows, he's been handed a box with a kitten in with loads of fleas on his hot sunny day. And they were in the middle of walking to a pub and having a celebration. So he then sat in the pub because they were celebrating the birthday, and then drove all the way from London back to the south coast, and it was over 200 fleas. He was,
oh my goodness,
so many fleas. It was awful. And yeah, Matt took him home, and he really nurtured him for that first month. He was bathing him and treating him, and yeah, they really real like TLC, and yeah, really bonded.
So, question for you. Or didn't you say there were two?
There was two, yeah. Another lady, the lady was apparently, that I wasn't there, but the lady was really nice, and she was going to have one, and Matt had the other one. And I think there might have been a third one, I can't remember, but there's definitely two. But the lady that they saw definitely took one of them, and he's still in touch with her as well.
Oh, so it's interesting because he put out a heart calling, and you said he had wanted one and been longing. And yeah, I mean, that's a real thing when our hearts are calling for something to come into our lives. It shows up, and it's like, oh my gosh, this really works.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, he was for so many months he kept saying, I just really feel like I need a pet. Like,
Why do you think that was?
He's just had changes, and
so he was in transition. He's in transition.
Yeah, he's been in
life.
transition. Yeah, both of us have actually, and he was, things are coming together, and he just wants that. It's just nice to have a foundation, and it is with pets, as we all know. And yeah, everything's come together with his cottage and that. And he does love animals, but it wasn't so practical for him to have one because he does work quite a lot of hours. And I kept saying to him, make sure it's something that I can look after, because I am based it's at home still. So yeah, just.
So how, they come in when they're not necessarily practical, but here they are, right? And we open our hearts, and they bring things that maybe we don't realize we even need. They open us in ways, and the lessons they teach are so profound that you have to look back and go, how wonderful that Spirit orchestrated that on that particular day at that particular time. So when you found out about it, how'd you react to it?
If I'm honest,
yes, please do.
He sent me, because he knows how I said, just get yourself in a better position before you have a pet. Mm-hmm. And then, because it does take organization to settle them and get them home and everything. Sorry, I've just taken his food away. I've got the dog under the table, I need to say. And Matt wasn't organised, and I just said, just when you're ready, you make sure you do it like properly. But anyway, as it happens, he wasn't ready, didn't do it properly. And he sent me this photo saying, whoopsie, in his van was a picture of little Angel. And I was like, oh God. So I wasn't that happy, if I'm honest, at the time.
How long ago was that?
It was a couple of, I think it might have been 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
5-6 months ago.
Okay. So it was the summer. Okay.
Yeah. And he was really little, and he was really riddled with fleas. It was absolutely.
Did you meet him right off, or did he keep him there for a bit?
I didn't, because he had so many fleas, and Matt took him to the vet and treating him, and I didn't want him to come round to mine where I've got my dog's called Alan. I didn't want him to pass on the fleas, so we just integrated it. Yeah.
Right. Well, now, did you tell? And what's your dog's name again?
Please don't laugh. He's called Alan.
No, I wasn't. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Everyone does laugh because we have to.
Oh, why? Why?
Because when you call him, it's Alan, it's like, it just sounds really funny. And he was actually trained by the guide dogs, and I believe that the sponsors, they name the puppy after the person who sponsored them. So we're guessing it was called Alan. Yeah, but it suits him.
Yeah, I like it. So did you tell him that there was this kitten in the picture now? Did you tell Alan?
Yeah, and I do. Yes, I did.
So you told him that he may be meeting a new one?
I said, would you mind? Would you mind if someone came round and said, and it was a little kitten that we need to share our home with? Would that be all right with you?
Oh, I think that's beautiful. Animals really do appreciate being included because it affects their lives as well. And so tell me about the first time they met.
Well, I'm the opposite with Matt. We're the opposites. I just wanted it to be little and often, and he wanted treatment with the fleas, because the fleas took a couple of months, and that's why I met him. I went outside and met him without my dog, but I just when time was right, I just said, let's do it little and often. And first of all, I came out a few times to meet him. Matt's got a van. I just went out to the van he's got a little in his little holder just to say hello and put my finger through and let him kind of get used to me. So yeah, it was 2 or 3 times like that. And then I thought it would be a good idea to give him one of Alan's blankets, and they could swap blankets and get each other's scent like a few weeks before, just kind of little introductory thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And then maybe it was like 3 or 4 times of me. I went outside to the van just by myself to get him, or sit in there with Matt and just get used to me. And then when I wanted him to come around to my flat, it's got a lot of doors for some reasons. I thought, right, what we'll do, we'll keep him in there, his little holder thing. And I had a nursery gate, like the baby ones. I put that up, and Matt sat one side of it and I sat the other, and he was still in his cage, and we were just chatting. And again,
the environment.
Yeah, just saying to Alan, this is little Angel, he's going to come and stay sometimes. And then I was just, to Angel, just letting him be, but it was maybe 20 minutes. So we had a cup of tea and just trying to be matter of fact, that this new environment, just take it all in. And then we just over the next week or so increased it like that the next time we didn't have the barrier up, we took him into the living room, and we just let him, without Alan being there, we just let him have a wander around.
How did he like that?
He's quite timid at first. It was fun because Matt was there. He really bonded with Matt. It was really lovely.
Did you see a big change in Matt from him being in his life?
Yeah.
Did it?
He really loved them.
Yeah. So you saw emotional, like his heart opening, and did he feel more grounded and more secure or balanced? Maybe.
I did. Matt's been very nurturing towards him and loving, and it was reciprocated back. And they had this connection. There's no doubt about it. He's his daddy.
The very things we're not prepared for get brought into our lives when we least expect it, right? And then they turn out to be make the biggest impact, in our lives before we have a chance to even figure it out. If we try to figure it out, that's when we get in our own way. I'm curious, when you were taking these baby steps, like you just talked about, we like little and often, like you were talking about, every time that you did that little and often, or you were sitting in your flat, by that time you had progressed, could you feel that things were going to be okay, that things were balancing? Could you feel as you went along that things were looking okay?
Well, my intention was to create that.
And
I was unsure, because obviously Alan is a Labrador. He's just gorgeous. He's got the nicest temperament.
How old is he?
He's 9.
Alex, do you mind putting up a photo of each? Now we need to see them. We all need to meet them.
Yeah, he's just there. He's just so gentle and kind. He is loving. He's a real character, and he's so easygoing. He tolerates anything, really.
And what do you think Angel needed from him? A friend, to belong, to feel at home?
Yeah, I think Angel, because Matt, we're going to kind of share Angel, because Matt is out on the road and everything so much. And I just think it's good for him to have 2 homes with 2 different personalities, with different, it's engaging, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think that at the moment, it's a possibility that Matt will get a second cat at some point. But at the moment, I think it's really nice that Angel has, and Alan, another animal at home that's the right animal. And it don't have to be best buddies, but it's harmonious and it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Angel just needed just to meet another animal, really, because he's going to be an indoor cat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What have you noticed in this whole transition phase that you've had to work with, like in this adjustment period for you? Like, have you had any? I just, so usually when an animal comes in, not only do they adjust, but we have to adjust. You know, we change our lifestyle a lot of the times. You know, yesterday, for instance, with that little puppy coming, and it's like, oh, I see how this day's going to go, right?
Yeah, yes, it's a brilliant question. I would say my whole flat has turned around to catify it, to make him welcome, to make it safe, because obviously we're on the 3rd floor here, to make it safe for him, to make it safe for Alan, to coordinate the flat. So there's safety zones, so Alan can go off and be by himself. The kitten's got his own space. I've got some space. And also, I think Angel's given me, I mean, I do like fun, don't get me wrong, but he's given me my playfulness back again, because I've gone and got I bought a brilliant playpen for him. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. And I've just been creative with, it's kind of like a shell or the basis for creating different corners in your flat, because it's so versatile, this thing I've bought. So, and giving him kind of things to think about, like challenges, and we can still, like there's a playpen with a tunnel that you can zip and attach to it, or unzip, sorry. And I've just been taking this tunnel and piling it up with pillows on my bed, and putting a duvet over it so he can use it as a tunnel and get in my bed or against the window. Or the playpen he uses like a trampoline. So I think it's just, yeah, he's given me I mean, Alan's really fun as well, don't get me wrong, but I think the playfulness and the beautifulness of the baby, he's just, yeah, he's given me that, a good spirit, a youthful spirit again.
That feels good, doesn't it? It's like
adorable.
Yeah, it's like touching back into a part of yourself you may not have realized had gone kind of quiet. And now that, you know, that's the one beautiful thing about animals, and then puppies or kittens, you know, and coming in with older animals, it's like a rebirth, a restart. You know, we get to reclaim parts of ourselves that we haven't used in a while. So I love that. So your creativity is coming up. And
even like last night, I was, you know, because we need to buy some more toys. We need this refreshing thing going on. But I was creating these fun games, because he loves boxes, and he's got the little balls and things. And we were just sitting watching telly, and I was making it into a slide, and he was actually getting his paw and engaging as well. We were taking it in turns. And it's kind of not, I kind of want to show him to be independent, to be able to, when he's at Matt's, I want him to be able to, we want to have something that he can entertain himself, or we can prepare stuff around the window. So his big TV in both places will be looking out at all the birds and all the nature, but giving him like little spots where he can, or shelves where he can have the best view.
You feel like you intuitively connect with him to kind of know what to create next? Because when you're talking, I'm watching and listening, and I'm seeing you naturally like getting ideas, and like, oh, I think this would be great. And, oh, but that's him communicating with you. So I didn't know if you had noticed that this whole part of you is opening up this kind of communication where he's showing you and giving you images of what he'd like to do.
Yeah, and I want him to be really happy. I want him to be really happy at Matt's, but he'll have a completely different life. It's lovely, but we need a bit of extra work at Matt's, in my opinion, because he's out and about more. So we therefore need to think about how and to make a routine with him. Although Matt's not in a particular routine, he needs a routine at Matt's. And I've been making a routine, although I'm not in a particular routine either here, making the animals have a routine and giving them that stability and a foundation to grow, really.
Have you always been this way? So what informs you? Like how, like a lot of people and I've talked to many, don't quite know what to do. They don't quite know what they need. So it's almost like you have a teacher in you that is naturally knowing that, for instance, even the part where you wanted to do little and often, sometimes people rush things and, don't give the animal time to adjust, and they try to get them to fit into their lifestyle really quickly, and without realizing that they too have their adjustment period, and each animal actually is different on what they need, and allowing them to come forward. So have you had animals before? What has given you this wisdom of how to do it?
I've had animals before, and I'm always looking after my friends' animals. I've always loved, I've always, since a little girl, I've always loved animals. But I've done a lot. I was a Thai yoga massage therapist. That was my main career. And that's based on intuition and energy work.
Yes.
And so I am intuitive, I would say, for sure.
Absolutely.
And quite good at, So I think, and I've also been I've never had children, but I've always been, my friends that have had children have been there like extra auntie. You can never have enough aunties and uncles when you've got children. And I've always taken my friends' children and done activities with them, even like my old next door neighbour now, little boy's 8, and from birth he's known me, and he still comes over and stay, and I can't believe we've still got this friendship, and we go out and have adventures.
Beautiful.
So I think, and I've been a play leader, and I was also a carer with the elderly, which end up being like children again when they've got dementia or whatever. So I'm just creative, and I seem to be able to tune into people and animals, I'd say.
That's lovely. Why do you feel like he's come in? So you've got a couple things here. Why he came into Matt's life, why he came into your life, and then why he came into the both of you. Like, what has that done? And so for you, why do you feel that he is he's in your life? Is it to awaken this part of you? Is it to and with Alan too? Like, why did he come in, do you think, for Alan?
Yeah, he's definitely, it's been a really positive experience. I think I wonder, I have to ask. I just find him a real joy. And before I sent you those photos, I was looking at when he first came, because he's been at mine a month now. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at them, how his face has changed. Like, he was unsure, and he didn't look, I wouldn't call it angry, but he had some funny faces he was pulling. But now it's not, he's soft, and he's just really happy. He's going to jump on my laptop.
You have to show him, hold him up for us.
Oh yeah, naughty. He's going to walk on he's probably going to walk on my keyboard in a minute. He's
he's very direct.
He is so funny. And you, but he just really happy to, I think he's given Alan confidence. Mm-hmm. And he's definitely, it's nice for Alan, because Alan is, he's not that confident. I suffer with anxiety, and Alan does as well. So I think that Angel is the brave one, and he's given maybe both me and Alan some confidence. And
have you noticed less anxiety with him around?
I have to ask you, yes and no. Alan has had anxiety when I've left him. I don't lock them in. They're in separate rooms, but I don't understand why he had his anxiety.
Let's talk about that. So, so Alan's always been sort of anxious.
Yeah, he's my friend. He used to live next door. I used to live with my friend who had 5 animals, and next door Alan used to live, and he used to come in with us as well. And to cut a long story short, I ended up with all of them, and then my friend died, and had to we helped rehome them, and I kept one of them, and then she passed away 2 years ago. And then I've always had Alan. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden his circumstances changed and I ended up with him 2 years ago as well. And he's always been anxious even before I had him. He's just, I don't know if it was just
I sense that there was at his former place, there was a lot of movement. It feels like there was a lot of activity, and so that's he's sensitive to that. Do you find that he likes routine and kind of predictability? Kind of likes to be grounded.
Yeah, and as does Angel. Yeah, and that's what I don't have a routine at the moment. I strive. I'm trying really hard, but it's difficult for me at the moment. But both animals like a routine, so I'm able to keep it as the best I can. And they do like a routine. They need a routine.
All of us need that. We need the grounding. We need the stability. We need sort of the predictability in our lives. And when a new animal comes in, that's the one thing I think that it takes just a minute for them to make sure things aren't going to, change again. And, usually 2 or 3 weeks, they get pretty, okay, I think I'm going to be here. And then you start seeing other aspects of their personality come in. So like you said, he seemed a little unsure looking about a month ago, right? And then now he's he's much more open. So when you leave the house, what is that like? You put them in separate rooms? Do you tell them what does that look like? Do you tell them you're leaving?
Yeah, they both got separate rooms. And I'm conscious about Angel when he's at Matt's will be more solitude. So I want to get him with the games, as many games and engagement that he can do by himself, safe games, like with all the balls and everything. And it's like, oops, Alan's been on there. So I've got like the tunnel, I leave the tunnel out and some soft toys and some balls, and he's got different ports in the in the bedroom, different corners or by the window. So he loves this animal TV. He absolutely loves it. Oh my goodness me.
So he's happy. He's happy in that room, right?
He's happy in that room. And Alan he's got the free reign of the flat. But I know he just waits by the front door. I know that. But the other day, Angel had to go to the emergency vet because there was some silicone, like a slow feeder, a fish, and he had eaten some and he brought it up. So the vet just said, please, can you come now? And I literally had half an hour to get out of the house to catch a bus. So I was walking Alan, had to get home, get Angel in the carrier and get on the bus. And apparently Alan was barking, full on barking all the whole time I was gone, which isn't normal. And I wasn't stressed, but I think it's just the
switch change in the day, that pivot. You all of a sudden, he thought you were doing one thing, and then all of a sudden you were doing something else, and he wasn't given the details. Like, he likes to know what's going to happen next and what's going to happen next. And so obviously you couldn't necessarily know that was going to happen.
I normally say to him or both of them when I'm going out, I'll say to Alan, I'm just going out. I'm not going out for long. I'd like you to look after the flat, please. Right. And then when I come back, we'll go out for a walk. And I just do something similar with Angel. And I don't make a big deal about it.
Do you feel like it's increased since in the last? Is he more anxious now than he used to be before Angel came?
No, he's not. I just think it's unfortunate about the vet situation. And today he did. I asked my neighbour to keep an eye out, and she couldn't hear him. But when I came back, I could hear him crying. And he did used to do that at my old friend and neighbours. But I wonder if it's from his experience last week. But it isn't normal. But shifting over to Alan's confidence, I think that's just unlucky that happened with the vet. But they now gang up on me in the morning because I struggle to wake up. And Alan and Angel, I put the alarm on. I try to get up at 7, but it doesn't seem to happen. I'm in such a nice sleep and I'm more relaxed. And I get this like paw, or I get a cat jumping on my chest and like, come on, get up. But they're ganging up on me together. They do it as a team. It's really funny. And I'm like, oh, please, just another 5 minutes. So, and even like in the evening now, because I've tried to think of integrating Alan because I don't want him to feel left out. with the age difference, and because he's quite shy and at times I want to engage, I want him to be part of this, part of us. So I've been trying to do things I know Alan likes with my left hand and Angel with my right, and sitting on the floor and doing that, and that's beginning to work. And when Angel first came a month ago, he tried to sit with Alan because he was so little and have a cuddle, and Alan was like, what? what, mum? I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Like, what? He put this really funny face. But now, again, because Angel's really, I love him and he loves me, and it is definitely working out.
But you didn't push Angel on him, basically. You didn't say you have to be friends.
No, I'll explain that in a minute. But for the breakthrough I've had recently, in the evening now, Angel, because he's actually wants to sit and cuddle me, I invite him to sit with Alan. I said, why don't you cuddle Alan? And as you've seen, he sits and Alan lets him cuddle him. I'm so pleased, because I think that's good for Alan.
Yes.
And I think it's good for Angel.
Yes.
And it means we're as one.
Yes.
And I also thought of a really good toy for Alan, because he doesn't really like playing. Again, it might be from his training, something wasn't quite right. And my friend had a little, even after he was a guide dog trainee, when he went to my friends, I had a little boy one I mentioned called George. And I wonder if George had all his toys out. So I think Alan couldn't have as many toys out. So Alan doesn't really play that well. He likes tug of war with a towel, but I found a perfect toy, like a branch, that is okay for him and he really likes. So now when I've got that was a good choice. And then Angel, I can play, and when he's using the playpen like a trampoline, it's all going bonkers. They're both in their own zone, but we're playing together.
I love that, because that allows them to be, and you're bringing up a great point, to allow them to be individual within a group. And that's really what the beauty of like a blended family is everybody gets to be who they are. And at the same time, we work as a team, or we work together. So again, I love that you're tuned in to both of them, and maybe not getting overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, sometimes we can also feel quite pulled, like we're not giving attention here and we need to give it more here. But it sounds like you have a good sense of the balance for everything. What have you learned with this experience? Like, I know you've had animals before. How is this situation different? Because you're different. You're at a different stage of your life. You have wisdom you didn't have before.
I just think he's been a joy. It was really hard work. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh my goodness me, because I haven't ever had a kitten. I've looked after older cats, but I haven't had a kitten. And
that'll wake you up.
I know, and a tiny flat. Yeah, it's strategic. I had to think about strategy. Like, right, what have I got? What's an asset? What would a kitten like? What would a dog like? How am I going to separate them? And how can I manage it? And it was really challenging, because I didn't know about kittens, and again I had to do loads of washing, because he wasn't originally peeing in the cat litter, because I just didn't know. I'd forgotten. I just didn't know. And then because he was a kitten, Alan's a big black dog, and Alan, again, awkward at times. And he was like, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. And he would maybe be sitting in the living room, and then he would feel awkward if Angel was having his, when they kick off and go bonkers. He was like, okay, I'm just going to go in the other room. I'm just going to get up. I'm just going to go like that. So he would get up awkward, which is like then you're going to be preyed on, because it's like, great. I just see a big black dog with a waggy tail just going that way. I'm going to follow him. So he would dart off there and follow Alan. And I was like, would obviously move after and say, Angel, and I know you can't really tell them off, but I was just trying to make it that he doesn't attack his tail, doesn't jump up at him. And I know that because Alan is obviously a Labrador, and I don't want the cat to swipe him, it's eye level. And I would just follow Alan in and just say to Angel, and have them both there, and say, Angel, Alan, we base ourselves here on love and kindness. This is like my Thai massage. Like, we base ourselves here on love and kindness, and Alan has been really kind and invited you to live in our home. And just, we're all going to be, try and get on and get to know each other, so we don't do anything that's going to hurt each other. And I would sit between the three of us, and I just kept saying that, but he's really not even doing it now. He's not doing it. He's not. And I think,
well, I think that it balanced out in the energy, and I don't know any of you who are watching if you've had this experience with the animals that have come in, and how it takes a minute. And we always say the dog chases the cat. No, it's the other way around. Like, the cat totally goes after the dog, no question. Marge said, I can see the kitty making bread, kneading onto the dog's fur, and then snuggling in my mind. Yeah, how many of you, as you are listening, are you resonating with these pieces of, like, I'm watching you and you're talking about kind of coming back alive, and I can see this like light in your eyes as you talk about it. I think it's been challenging, but it's been sort of a fun learning curve too, right? You know now more than you did, and not only that, but you have this expanded perspective of kittens and how the interaction, and I don't know, the balance between Angel and Alan is such a good balance, because it kind of brings him, it's kind of like, what's that, what's he doing next? So it wakes him up. And also the kindness that he has, the sensitivity that he has, is really good for Angel, because sometimes, dogs are like, you're too much for me. And just, so just the family feel, the connecting those two are having is quite beautiful. They're helping each other.
I am so pleased. So looking back just before going on here, I just looked back at the photos to try and send you some. I was like, he's really come on. And yeah, he's been an absolute joy. I mean, when, everyone knows when kittens and puppies go bonkers at a certain time, honestly, me and Alan would be sitting on the sofa, and then Angel would jump over both of our heads, like, or I was out in the hallway, and then he does, like, he jumped. I mean, Alan is a big lad, and Angel just jumped over his back. I was like, oh my God.
He's definitely, what word am I? It's like an etheric kind of chaotic energy to kind of zoom, wake you up. Somebody's commenting, I just love this. Piper says, yes, my rabbit went after the dogs. Dogs now love it, and we all have this relaxing feeling and vibes with all. That would be a great video. That would be like really good. I know the cats at my place have always like gotten on the trees, and they'll jump on the little dogs, and so that nobody knows where they're going to show up next. So yeah, it's the transition for us all doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, but it's all about, I love what you said. I intended it to be this way. I intended it to work. I intended to make sure that no one felt left out. I really love that. And Claire says it's a very long and different process adopting Romanian rescues. From the first two little ones, we're incredibly tight with each other. Now Arnie is seeing Jeff as his big brother. Doesn't it take time? I mean, sometimes it just takes time, but I tell you what, they come, it's so fascinating. I've watched it so much in my own life, where one animal will show up, and then you'll have that animal and then another one. And I would watch, and they would come for each other. They would literally come for each other. I mean, they'd be part of the family, and they'd have, deep connections, but you would watch this beautiful friendship form. Animals they come to learn things as well. And they come to maybe learn how to be a friend. They come to learn, it's part of their soul path, to learn, well, what's it like to be a sibling? What's it like to be a child? What's it like to have a friend? What's it like to be a mother? They come to have those experiences just like we do. And oftentimes they are mirroring the same kind of thing. So if they're working on trust, we may be working on that at the same time. Is that Angel like?
That's Alan. He's trying
Alan?
to get a nap. I know. But you know, it's been great because Alan is a big black lab. So he's very long. He's got a deep rib cage, and he's quite big. But when he's happy, 95% of the time, and he just wags his tail all the time. So for a little kitten to see, wow, I like it. And I had to say to Alan in the beginning, Alan, turn around, or Alan, move this way, or Alan, lie down, because I could just see Angel's face like, gotcha, gonna get you. So
That's actually good. That's teaching to be, not that animals are very present, but it's a different kind of presence when that's going on, because it's kind of like you have to be aware of all angles at all times, right? So it wakes wakes everybody up. When you were talking about Alan, he wanted me to ask you if you thought he was handsome.
I do. I adore him. He knows that.
He's wanting you to like announce that to everybody, like
Alan,
tell
I love
all
you.
how great he
I
is.
adore you. You're my boy, big boy. But he tell him he's done so well. I really am
Yeah, that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up, because it's really important that we tell our animals, thank you so much for working with me. Thank you. I needed that. And everybody, thank you for your contributing and helping, being kind to Angel, even though Angel is pouncing on your back or pulling your hair or whatever. It's so important to acknowledge that they're part in things. Ivanti says, when I got Dulce, I also adopted Gabbana so Dulce wouldn't be alone. In 2021, I got a Frenchie without consulting Dulce and Gabbana, and Dulce passed, and Gabbana has never accepted Enzo. Well, that we could definitely take a look at that a little bit more. But I love that you caught the, I didn't think about it. I didn't ask them. And a lot of times we don't. Life gets busy, and animals pop into our lives, or somebody passes, we take some animals, and we can't necessarily give the memos ahead of time. But I think, Ivanti, it would depend too on the ages they are now, and really what their own soul path is. So it could be they weren't really meant to be close friends, and hopefully they coexist. And yes, she says Gabbana has been grieving since Dulce's sudden passing. And yes, absolutely, animals go through that as well. They just like people. And it's really important to respect that and understand it. And a lot of times we will be like wanting to take it from them, but it's important for them to go through that process just like we do. So I love the new life that has come into your life. And I love that each of you is having an experience of each other. You're having an experience of everybody and Matt, and you're also having an experience of each one of them, and you're getting to see yourself in feeling these things that have brightened life. What?
It's rewarding. It's like, he's so little, and I just feel like, okay, it's a blank canvas, and I want him to be a really happy cat. But a lot of it, it's observation. So my home is completely different to Matt. So my attention was, right, how the what and the how is going to work for him here. And it's the windows and the light. And I'm thinking about strategically what's the best view to put the shelves, and he can look at the seagulls. I'm near the sea, the seagulls and loads of squirrels and foxes. So what views in the front and the back of the flat?
A question for you. Could you go into, like you mentioned, Matt's place is different. What I'm sensing is you're almost like this interior designer for this kind of setup. So could you go into Matt's place, using that as an example, and take a look and feel and see what is needed? Have you always been that way?
Yeah, I'm actually a qualified interior designer, but I haven't done it for like a long time.
See, there you go. That's too funny, because you do have that energy and I love how that's coming back alive. You could really, that's actually something you could, if people asked you, you could let them know, well, you know, I can come in and take a look, and I can help you with placement, because a lot of times we don't know.
Yeah, flow and placement, and that's really important. And I do know that, and again, that's that shift in energy. But I keep moving the energy in my flat because I'm like, oh, the tunnel can go here, or we could do this game. But just on Matt, I was just going to say how I had my intention for my flat, and I'm so pleased with the way things have gone. I feel really like that was it was hard work, but it was really worth the effort. So anyone that's watching, just keep going, because it's 10 times.
So how do you, and as you all are listening, have you had that experience too, where you have a new one come in and you just kind of feel where you need to put things, and then maybe that changes and you move that? So how would you explain to people, how do you get in tune with that part? What's, you know, it's like, Tami, how do you do what you do? So I'm asking one of those type of questions. It's hard to describe. But like if you go into a space like this, do you connect with the animal? Do you connect? What are you connecting with? Or do you know?
I'm not really, well, I'm a daylight person. So I've just, now I'm a bit more relaxed about, I feel like I've got the foundation stronger, because I say all the peeing and washing and worrying about the animal's gonna get on okay, and just the safety thing. Now it's the cattifying for him, but also making Alan have his own space.
I love that. You're so respectful of space and everybody's space. So we have, you know, the collective family space. We have the individual spaces. And that a lot of times in multi-pet homes, that's what, and it's, let's say they're kids and stuff, the space, there's no boundary. There's no, like,
boundaries is really important.
And cats are in charge of spaces. So, you know, cats like to have their own kind of area where they're in charge of. And usually, and you know, Angel may claim the entire flat for that. And, you know, with easygoing Alan, that probably works out. But it's interesting that you have this natural kind of tuning in ability to feeling what everybody needs, including yourself. Have you felt crowded yourself?
What, in here?
Well, I mean, have you felt crowded when you have two animals and then there's you?
No, the more the merrier. I'm the same with children. I just like people, at least like people and animals. And but yeah, no, I am always challenged. My life has been challenging. So now I observe. It's kind of like, now I feel like he's given me confidence, is something else he's given me, because I feel rewarded for all the work I've put into it. It's been worth it, because he's a really nice cat. He's not the same Kitten that he came in. He's very engaged and nice.
He's been allowed to be himself. One of the viewers, and she's posed a question that maybe we could. She said, should I move things now that Dulce has passed? Would that help Gabbana? What would you say?
100%. I would say, get your Hoover out and get your, just when it's a day you're in the mood. If you're not in the mood to do it, don't do it. But the day that you feel like today is the day, or even just set the timer for an hour and just look at a corner that's really annoying you. Maybe go for the thing that really annoys you the most. Just put the timer on for whatever time you feel you can bear to do it. And just shift the energy and clean it. And then if you just go and then just either walk away from it, or just allocate time the next day, maybe to do the next bit.
Maybe go back and see how it feels after you've done it. And, you know, Ivanti, I would also tune in. I would be sitting with the Gabbana and ask Gabbana, what is it you need? Show me, what is it you need? And I feel like with that kind of tuning in, you're gonna get an idea. Oh, I think I'll shift this a little bit, because animals do need that as well.
But also, you know, if you observe your animals, say like when the sun comes in at whatever time, and just sit and have a cup. I keep saying tea, but I drink coffee. Just sit and have a drink and just observe your animal. what are they doing? Where are they sitting? When the sun's out, is there a particular corner or where they are? And then just kind of move your furniture and see if I wonder if that would be more comfy, or I wonder if they like the sun. Oh, could they lie there and get some rays in, or in the winter, would that be warmer? There's no draft there. There's nothing coming out of the door. This just kind of like, the more you observe them, and then just either write down notes, evaluate things, and just move. I just say move.
Love that. You know, that's the foundation of actually animal communication, is that observation and the attention that you place on that. So that's beautiful. And you know, I love, as we're rounding up our time here, I love that both Angel and Alan have helped us all. You know, you've in your articulation in understanding family dynamics and individual dynamics, and space, the spatial, the environmental dynamic that often doesn't get thought of, because we have X amount of space. Oh, I've got this little spot here, I'll put them there. But what I'm hearing you say, and from what you described with your, you know, interior design kind of little spirit, is that it's more than that. It's more than just where you have room. It's how that room is set up for success.
Yeah, and all these wasted corners, again, as you know, cats like to go up, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a wasted corner, why can't you just put a floor to ceiling thing, and they still be sitting next to you, but they can look out the window? Or again, if it's a dog, that there's a, again, wasted corner area, maybe that's a little hiding, like be quiet place, or toy, or play. I don't know, I just think just observe your space. Don't just move things just move things every now and again. I wonder, and because it makes you feel a certain way, even relevant to the animals. It might clear your head. If you were feeling a bit heavy, it might just be, oh, I'm glad I moved that chair.
The animals are going to show you whether they resonate with that, and you're going to feel that in your body, and be able to ascertain, oh, that was probably a good move, or no, I don't think, you know, my animal, maybe that upset him a little bit. I put it back right where it was, or whatever. So I love this part came up in our talk today, because that's a whole aspect that I think doesn't get really thought about, is that spatial piece of how do you balance everybody's energy so that there's not more anxiety, but there's balance and more of an even keel feeling. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate Angel and Alan for coming on the live.
Thank you so much. I love all your shows. As you know, I've been on a few years now, and so I'm a real pleasure, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for sticking around. We had internet issues, apparently. So it's always good to see everybody, and let's keep this conversation going always. Thank you for being here, and hope you have a great week.